All right, let's talk a little album review here. I am not only wearing the shirt, Little Miss Almost Famous, Amy Gabba and the Almost Famous. My wife is extremely jealous of this shirt. She loves the Little Miss stuff and said, nope, this was given to me by Amy while I was there in Vegas. She also hooked it up with her newest album on CD. This just came out 2 weeks ago, I think. I mentioned it on the last episode. It is Screaming at the Top of My Lungs, again by Amy Gabba and the Almost Famous. I love the design on it, too. It's got her picture on the back, and they did a side A, side B, which obviously I'm sure they used for the vinyl, but they also put it on the CD, which I really appreciate. She hooked it up with the CD, but I went and so in order to support Amy Gabba, who's a fantastic person, like I mentioned last week, I went ahead and paid for the digital download on that as well, so I could support, especially since she gave me this awesome shirt that I get to wear on the podcast. Like I said, Screaming at the Top of My Lungs. What I said to my wife, and my wife has been, I've been listening to this album, I don't want to say nonstop, but quite a bit over the past few weeks since I got the CD. And I said to my wife, who is a big fan of her, I said, well, she's becoming a big fan of Amy, but she's also a big fan of Ani DeFranco. And I said, you know what? She is like a punk version of Ani DeFranco. And I mean that in the best way. She has a certain vibe, but it's definitely a punk ska feel as opposed to like the folk singer-songwriter, it's like a Venn diagram of those things. So that was one of the first things that popped to my mind. And it has multiple cameos on there, including Tara Hahn of Half Past Two, Aaron Barrett, the lead singer for Real Big Fish, and Scott Klopfenstein of the Littlest Man Band, Scott Klopfenstein solo stuff, and formerly of Real Big Fish. All those tracks are fantastic. I would say it's great from start to finish. This is one of those albums, and the structure of it lends to listening from first song to last song, which I really appreciate. We've gotten back to that over the past couple years. It's not just throwing hits on an album and there's no real progression there. Like I said with the Barstool Preachers' newest album, there's beautiful progression to it. You want to listen from first track to last track, and this is definitely an example of that. And I will say He's All Yours, which is the track featuring Tara, and I'm a little biased because Tara is a good friend of mine. It just slaps so hard. It is so good. And I love how Amy brought in the right cameos on certain songs that fit the style of that song, which we clearly see here with all three of the songs that have cameos on them, especially with He's All Yours, which is the song, like I said, that has Tara on it. Probably my favorite song on there. The harmonies on all the songs are so clean. You can tell Amy put a lot of time into putting together a fantastic album that sounds good, has that great progression, like I said, and it's just her singing. Well, with the exception of the cameo tracks, it's just her singing. So she's got her own harmonies in there, and they really, really connect kind of that deep listening when it comes to a lot of tracks on the album. And I will say my other favorites are One of My Mistakes, Heavy, and Hey Little Rich Girl, which is actually the track that features Scott Klopfenstein. So again, if you haven't picked this one up, it's available on vinyl, CD. You can get some T-shirts. I believe Amy has which brings me to another thing that I didn't even note on here. I believe Amy has a Bandcamp, and since today is Juneteenth, if you're not on Bandcamp and didn't get the email, they're actually donating all of their proceeds to NAACP Defense Fund, one of the specifically African-American defense funds, today on Juneteenth. So if you want to pick that up, you can pick it up through Bandcamp, also through Amy's website. Keep in mind, if you're in the U.S., you might pay a little extra on shipping because Amy is based out of Toronto, Canada. But highly, highly recommend that. At the very least, you can pick up the digital version and start listening to it today. I will probably be listening to it again later today.